All right, looks like we're about to get started here. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Civic 50 Orange County reception. We're so happy to have everyone online today, and we're thrilled to be together to recognize and celebrate the most community-minded companies in Orange County. I'm Aziz Madawal. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at Tarsus Pharmaceuticals in Irvine, and I'm also a board member at 10C, and I'm delighted to have the opportunity to be part of today's reception and ceremony. The companies represented range from small to large, from a few hundred to thousands of employees worldwide. Yet they all have one thing in common, and it's that they care, that they prioritize the well-being of not only their team and employees, but for the communities they live and work in. They're the leaders in our community, and they're showing the value and impact of corporate social responsibility. And this is something that's really near and dear to my heart. It's a thing that I've been personally very focused on, and that as Tarsus, as a startup organization, we as a management team have put right at the beginning and right at the forefront as well. So it's great to see such tremendous examples of strong community and corporate social responsibility being recognized today. It gives us all something to aspire to. And speaking of things to aspire to, one of the most civically minded people I know, and someone I aspire to be more like, is Tim Stroud, who's the CEO of 10C. And it is my pleasure to now introduce Tim to tell you a little bit more about the Civic 50 Orange County and share a little bit about 10C as well.
Well, thanks, Aziz. You're too kind. It's good to see so many of you online today. And, as we looked at the Civic 50 this year, we had a hiatus last year, and we started this in 2017 and we're affiliated with Points of Light. And it's good to have Jeff Hatter from Points of Light with us today. And we were the first of any affiliate in the country to put on a local Civic 50 event, which many of you have been a part of in the past. And I was asked to take a few minutes just to share a little bit about the Civic 50 and about 10C. And when I think of the Civic 50 and what it means, it's a lot of times it's thought of in terms of a benchmarking tool, something to look at where you're at today as a company and where you can continue to enhance and improve and develop your civic engagement moving forward. I think it's bigger than that. I think the opportunity with all the challenges that we face and have been facing and continue to face on our road to recovery as we have so much uncertainty is this idea that each one of you as companies is, in my opinion, creating an environment to engage with the community. This way of setting a culture of giving back. And if you think about it, this ecosystem that you're establishing here in Orange County is something that is very not only meaningful but critical for our road to recovery, especially with our nonprofits. And 10C, our mission is to accelerate nonprofit success. We've been around since 1958, and our whole purpose is to ensure that companies like yours can get connected with the local nonprofits to really leverage the opportunities to having a greater impact here in Orange County. And so if you really think about it, all of us at one point in our lives, mine was growing up in Laguna Niguel and my mom creating an environment for me and my brother and sister to ensure that we volunteered, that we gave back to the community, that we were allowed to experience these volunteering situations that created belonging, a sense of purpose and character. And I think that that's what you're doing at a macro level with your companies. And I think that this is just the start. I think even the time, as I mentioned earlier, that there's a lot of challenges. There's great needs for companies to not pull back, but to actually lean in and provide more resources to our community so that we can serve those that are less fortunate. So I think as I look at the Civic 50, this is a real testament to you as a company, that you put service and civic engagement out front, that you model it, because the more you model it, the more others will see and will jump on board and see that it's not only worthwhile, but it's actually can be easy and can be really instrumental to your organization's culture. So again, thanks for being with us today. We know that this is a virtual reception. Next year we'll be in person, but we want to make today in the next 90 minutes really about you and celebrating accomplishments in the community over the last year. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Aziz, to continue the program.
Great. Thanks so much, Tim. And always wonderful to hear your perspective, and certainly greatly appreciate your leadership. In addition to Tim, there are so many people that have this mindset about giving back and putting the community at the forefront of everything they do. And a person that does just this, and I've gotten to know over the last couple of years, and when you think about energy, this person has just infectious energy. And I think you'll even see it, even through Zoom, you'll feel it. And that's Charles Antis, the CEO of Antis Roofing and Waterproofing. Charles and his company have really exemplified what civic engagement can look like in a local company. And they do such a great job at making impact with everybody they interact with. So let's hear from Charles.
I get excited when I speak of civic engagement, because that's the only way that I know I'm heard inside and outside the company. It's that relevance between me and my people. It's how our stories align as we try to make things better, whether it's our jobs, the roofs we're making watertight, or it's the community in which we live. And so at Antis, it becomes part of who we are. We want to know what fulfills you, because right there in what fulfills you is the impact that makes that watertight roof. It's the impact that makes the community more watertight and protected, hopefully, because we exist to keep families safe and dry, and we know that. And so that shows up in a lot of ways here at Antis. It shows up by donating all of the habitat roofs in Orange County, Habitat for Humanity Orange County, over the last 10 years. And do you know how that makes us feel? We're going to go in a couple of weeks and drive the 500,000th nail and the 137,000th tile for the 86th family. That is like a powerful experience when you live that with your employees, or when your real life shows up at work. Like, you guys all know I wear these socks, and a lot of you wear them with me. Why? Because we're doubling the size of Ronald McDonald House here in Orange County, and I'm the chair for that. Why do I do that? When I raised my hand and said I'd raise the money because the shop owners and the doctors and all of the board members at Ronald McDonald House expected me to, I was pinching myself when I said, you worry about building the house, Katie Rucker and I will worry about raising the money. But when I said yes to that, it's like everything changed. Something happens when you say yes to your people. Something happens when you say yes to community. It's like this capacity grows, because you know what? When I used to say no, I was always right. There wasn't enough. But the moment I said maybe, everything started to change. And civic engagement is living this big maybe. Like, wow, what if we could live more? What if we could be more? What if we could do more? What if we could see ourselves higher? And that's what happens to the company with all of our allies and all of our stakeholders. But that's also what happens to me and Susan DeGrassi and Audrey Schneider and Aaron Antis and Corey Burnham and all of the employees, Narciso Alarcon, Jesus Hermano. We see ourselves higher, and we're able to really make the world a better place. That's what civic engagement is at Antis. I'm really proud of what we've accomplished at Antis over the past year and the year plus. I mean, a year and a half ago, when our habitat build stalled and when our Meals of Love at Ronald McDonald House stalled, we were a little bit frozen in the moment. And that's when some things happened to change everything. That's when I delivered my first box of food as part of the Harvest Truck Brigade for Second Harvest. And that's the same time Susan DeGrassi, Antis VP, board member of SoCal Chapters of American Red Cross, says, we need space for blood. That does not make any sense. A roofing company who keeps families safe and dry, delivering boxes of food as part of the Second Harvest Truck Brigade, and taking in blood with thousands of blood donors until the world shifts. And I think for us, I'm really proud of the way we shifted in the changing world, because I believe the way that you attract and retain your talent today more than ever in a super shifting world is through cause, true stories, sharing stories of delivering boxes of food, of taking in pints of blood, and of donating roofs to keep families safe and dry. That's what I'm proud of, that we're able to do that, and our stories are heard and understood inside and outside our company. And so what I suggest you do as a company is think maybe you have capacity to do more than that basket drive. You can do more. Perhaps you can actually donate the service that you do, like donate roofs to nonprofits that need it. And thereby your brand is lifted up, your culture's lifted up, you attract and retain talent, and then your stories resonate in the minds of your stakeholders because they ring with authenticity by the partners that you choose. I advise you to get involved, make your stories real. They'll be heard. Your people will trust you. They'll believe you more than they've ever believed you. They'll be aboard. You'll sleep better at night. And your community will be stronger because of it. That's how we do it here.
Well, amazing. Thank you, Charles. And as I mentioned, I'm sure you could all feel that tremendous energy and commitment to community come through even on a video. So we're always thankful for all that Charles does and all of his dedication to the community. And like Charles and Antis Roofing, ONEOC has many amazing signature event sponsors that we're super grateful for. And for this next portion, we're going to do a little bit of fun. We're going to have some fun. We're going to play a little game as a way to recognize our generous and dynamic spirit sponsors. Don't worry, it's not super competitive, but it will be fun and it doesn't require too much. All the winners of the game will receive a $25 charitable giving card to donate to their favorite 501c3 organization. So for the next few minutes, we're going to do a little sponsor scavenger hunt. The ONEOC staff did a wonderful job of coming up with this really creative idea. And all you have to do is have to have your web browser open, either on your phone or open another window on your computer. And for each sponsor, we'll give you a little hint, but we're going to direct you to their website or their social media page, and you're going to find something fun or interesting about that company. And once you find it, all you need to do is put it in the chat. And the first 5 people who put the correct answer in the chat will receive a point. I'm going to give you all a second to orient yourself and get ready, and then we're going to jump to the first clue. All right, the first clue has to do with Experian. What colors are the Experian logo? I'm going to give you a hint. It's on the upper left corner of the website. Seeing a bunch of good answers in the chat. Oh, they're coming in now. Okay, awesome. All right. So I think we've got a good number of answers there. The answer is blue, purple, and pink. All right, you guys ready for the next one? The next one, we're going to be learning a little bit more about Antis roofing and waterproofing. And what can you download for free on the Antis website? The hint is it's on the upper right side of the homepage. And if you've ever experienced it, you're going to definitely want to download that. Oh yeah, lots of good answers there. People are nailing that. It's the emergency leak protocol. Awesome. Great activity in the chat. Next one, Western Digital. What is one of the personal and professional storage brands listed on Western Digital's website? I'll give you a hint. You got to scroll all the way down on the homepage. This one takes a little time because you got to scroll all the way down. Yep, I see a couple of answers coming in now. Good, good. Oh, yeah. All right. We'll give it another second or two. All right, we're ready to give you the answers. WD, SanDisk, G Technology, and Western Digital. Awesome. All right, the next one, Edwards Life Sciences. Edwards, what's the picture that's next to the global corporate giving section? You have to scroll down to the homepage. It's another one where you have to scroll and engage a little bit. All right. Oh, I'm seeing the answers come in now. All right, let's share it. It's hands with the heart. Awesome. Awesome. All right. The next one, clue number 5 about Capital Group. What year did Capital Group start? And it's in the sentence at the top of the homepage. So you got to read a little bit. I'm seeing the answers pour in. Oh, awesome. Everybody's super fast. That's fantastic. It is 1931. So congrats for those amazing, great answers. All right, now we're going to move to Ventura Foods. On the company values page for Ventura Foods, what is one of the values listed? All right, just look right under the page header. All right, we see some good answers coming in. Awesome. All right, let's take a quick look at those answers. Integrity, customer focus, teamwork, personal ownership. Fantastic values for a fantastic company. All right, number 7, Pacific Life. What animal is in the Pacific Life logo? If you need a hint for this, then you don't live in Orange County. Everyone sees these everywhere. Yep. The answer here, oh, we got them all in the chat. Real quick on this one. It is indeed the whale. I didn't read the hint on that one. That was a good one. People know that one real well. All right, number 8, Wells Fargo. What is one area listed under Wells Fargo's corporate responsibility? Here we go. I'm starting to see the answers chime in. We'll give it another minute or two. Here we go. People are finding it now. All right, let's go look at the answers. Diversity and inclusion, economic empowerment, environmental sustainability, community giving, ESRM, ESG. So congratulations. Great job, everyone. Thanks for playing along. Hope you had a little fun getting trigger sharp on the laptop or on your phone. And a huge thanks, of course, to all of our 2021 signature event sponsors. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Amanda Fowler, the Executive Director of Global Corporate Giving at Edwards Life Sciences. Amanda is going to share a little bit about the great work Edwards is doing and also introduce a brief word from their CEO, Mike Masalem.
Hi, thanks for that. Can you hear me? There we go. Here we are. Thank you so much for giving us this chance to share a little bit about our giving. I think like a lot of people in this community, this giving is really personal for us. And I think it's that connection to all of the people in our neighborhood here that really creates a very important element of our culture it's so special. And we're proud to be a part of the Civic 50 in Orange County here, really since its inception. I believe that was in 2017. So we've been leaning into this community, partnering very closely with OC because we trust them and we know how much they are working all across this community, knowing where all the needs are for people giving their time to give back, to connect in a time when I think people need connection more than ever. So OC helps us create large scale community events, team building events, They even work really closely with us to help our leaders connect on board of directors of local nonprofits. And we even have our own Jamie Wheeler that serves on the board there. And all of these connection points make it personal, and they help us really listen to the needs of the community. And right now, it is a time when our community needs us the most. And it's inspiring, and frankly, it's humbling to really be able to step up our giving and do something about it. And last year, we doubled our giving because our neighbors need us now. And we have this moment right now where we're able to really step up to these urgent needs. And it means something so big when you have that connection with just frankly the one. And I can think of one beautiful face that it's burned in my memory, frankly, of this little boy who received a laptop that was donated from us. And it may seem like such a small thing, but he was able to do one assignment in the time that it used to take him to do, 5 assignments in the time it used to take him to do just one on his mom's smartphone. It's such a difference, and helping kids learn more, helping our neighbors eat in a time when they are hungry, and just stepping up in a way that means something to those who need it the most. So this is work that we really feel like we get to do every single day. We walk through the doors all around the world feeling like it's a privilege and an honor to be able to give back. And I can tell you there is no one who is more supportive of this work than our chairman and CEO, Mike Masalam. He really has been our strongest ally, and he's just a joy to work with. So we have a video here to share with you all a bit about his perspective on the community and what civic mindedness means at Edwards. I'll turn it over to you.
Civic engagement really means making a difference, and it's totally integrated into what we do at Edwards. As a matter of fact, we talk about it in our credo, creating community. And to us, that means giving more than we take from the community. Now, exactly what that looks like, it's so different for each of us as companies and as people. But it's important that each individual feels that they're making an impact in some kind of way that really resonates for them and has impact in the community. And that could be giving their time and doing some pro bono work. There's really no limits to how you can give back. And I'm just always so inspired when I watch what our employees do. So civic engagement is huge for us. And we have purposefully integrated that into all that we do. It's part of our credo. In fact, our credo ends with helping patients is our life's work and life is now. So we don't wait to serve those that are around us, and we like to include those that are most in need. We're able to make a big difference. We have the capabilities of going deep and big into the communities in the way that we support them. So it's a source of pride for us. Edwards is very fortunate to be a successful company, and we've made a commitment to charitable giving and to really participating in the philanthropic causes that is a key defining element of our culture. Yes, we're able to give resources like money, but more importantly, it's what comes from our own employees that's so inspiring. We have this aspiration that what if 100% of our employees had some charitable activity that they were doing at least once a year and something that they cared about. And we have the vast majority of our employees, over 80%, that responded that they do exactly that. And we're quite a global company with a lot of hourly workers, and our hourly workers are well over 80% engaged in doing charitable work. So it's really something that's special for me and all of us in the company. The past year has been a challenge for the globe. And we were certainly affected, but maybe not nearly as much as many others were really affected in really startling ways. What was most special is to watch what our employees did. They just had a passion to do something about it. They found inspiration and connection in helping others through the global crisis. They just continued their giving, and as a matter of fact, stepped it up in new ways that supported the community, both in Orange County and around the globe. We were just energized by the new ways that our charitable partners continuously innovated, and we're just so proud of the way that Orange County community in general stepped up for our neighbors that were in need and really going through a tough past year. Because of the importance of community engagement and that it's part of our culture, we measure a few things. We measure our progress toward this aspiration of 100% of our employees participating in charitable activities this year. And that's just been growing each year. But we also measure our impact with underserved patients versus our centerpiece philanthropic initiative that we call Every Heartbeat Matters. And so that's one where we have a 5-year goal that we regularly track. We have a number of ways that we're able to actually get measurement of our results. We just feel that being generous leads to even more success for who we are as professionals and humans and neighbors. And we believe that people want to work for a company that's a great citizen and a great member of the community. And it gives us some real rewards that are hard to put dollar signs on. You can feel it in your heart. We encourage our employees to be leaders with you and strengthen the community, and it's through our employees' interest and their willingness to lead that enables us to even expand our reach. So we're believers in innovation and leadership and passion for the community, and that certainly resides in Orange County and will continue to strengthen, in my mind, for years to come.
Great. Well, what an amazing outlook on civic engagement. Thank you to Mike and the entire Edwards team for being a part of the Civic 50 OC and for all the great work you've done in the communities around the world. That's really inspiring, really motivating. And when we think about that, it's always great to hear from different perspectives. And this next speaker, I think, is going to share a real unique and interesting and very contemporary perspective. And I'd like to invite up V. Bacalandro, founder and president of VeraWorks, a global job purposing firm that has worked with companies like FedEx, HP, IBM, Levi's, Toyota, Disney, CVS Health, the list goes on. V's work has been featured on Forbes, Business Digest, the Harvard Business Review, and she's recently added author to her resume with the publication of Do Good at Work, a book focused on how to elevate everyday work into a fulfilling venture. So please join me in welcoming B.
Thank you, Aziz. I'm thrilled to be part of this celebration. So we're going to talk about the genius of corporate social responsibility. So there are two types of professionals. There are those who are unenlightened beings out there. Most of the world is that. And then there's you. Those of you involved in the Civic 50. You guys are enlightened. You're geniuses. Well, okay, this is kind of in jest, but it's also kind of true. If we think about purpose unenlightened beings, allow me to explain. So, imagine that you are trying to get your team members at your workplace to wash their hands, something very timely right now. You have the opportunity to put one of two signs in the restrooms. The first one says, A, your hand washing prevents you from catching diseases. The second one says, sign B says, your hand washing prevents others from catching disease. We're going to do a quick poll here. The point is to get people to wash their hands. Which sign would you put up to get people to do this behavior? So just choose A or B in the poll, and then we will share the results. Don't think about it too much. Just select what comes to mind as an effective practice. All right, let's share the results. I'm not seeing the results. Alex, can you chime in with the results?
Yeah, I think they're being shared with all the participants right now.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me what they are? Because I can't see them for some reason.
They are 50-50, right down the middle.
Oh, all right. Okay, great. So we have a dead tie here. Okay, so let's see. This is real research done by Adam Grant and David Hoffman. It was done way before COVID. And let's show the real results. If you chose A, so this is the self-focused answer, right? Like, I don't want to get sick. No one wants to get sick, right? So, of course, I'm going to wash my hands. Did that work? No, it didn't. But, well, maybe B didn't work either. This is appealing to that charitable nature of people. It's like, you don't want other people getting sick, do you? Did that work? Yes, it worked really well. So I'm amazed that half of you chose this, because typically really only about 10 to 20% of people choose this, the correct answer. And that's because we have been brought up to think we're all about ourselves, like what's in it for me, and that is what motivates us the most. And this is why you guys are geniuses, because as most people out there, including all of us on the call, ask questions like about work, like, okay, how can I get that raise? Or I want to move into Susan's group because that's the group that's doing everything that's exciting. Or I really want to use my design skills. Those are all valid interests in the workplace. But what makes you a genius is that you're on this call, you're interested in giving back to the community, and so you're asking an additional question, which is, how can work be a platform for good? And that is what makes you a purpose-enlightened person. Because when you do this, we already saw that as soon as you show up to work as a contribution to others, and you put that message out there, performance goes up. So we know there's a study done by John List at University of Chicago and colleagues that actually productivity goes up by 24%. So the Adam Grant study showed 48% more in the behavior, but productivity as like units per time in a different study is 24%. So conservatively, quarter more items produced per minute. People also perform better when they are out there doing something for the community. So what Edwards Life Science is doing is helping those team members perform better. What Antis is doing is helping those team members perform better. In my studies, 20% higher engagement at work. So that means that people are putting in discretionary effort into their tasks. They're not just like, okay, I put in my 8 hours, I'm done, right? They're putting in more of their own effort, what's called employee engagement. 3 times higher retention. A study done by Manulife Financial found this in those who are helping others through work. Lower burnout. And if you run a company, if you're a senior leader, there's a study done a few years ago that found that over 200% higher sales when your companies are known for this per customer. So if you're an Antis or Edwards Life Science or one of the Civic 50 winners, you get a boost in sales. Unilever found that their brands that have social purpose in them, that do this community involvement, have higher growth than those that don't. So the workplace benefits are huge to this, but there are also personal benefits. So the health benefits of you by being interested in that question of how do we do good for work are also huge. And when your team members participate in that drive, when they participate in that pro bono, same thing. So more T cells, literally, a stronger immune system, You're less likely to have a heart attack, higher cardiovascular disease. The health benefits, fewer negative emotions. They just keep coming. Less depression, more happiness. So when Charles was talking about, when he said, and it's such a great moment where he says, do you know how that makes us feel? Well, you know what this does? It lowers cortisol, so it lowers the stress hormone, and it increases, get this, all three: dopamine, oxytocin, and one other that I'm forgetting, one happy hormone. So the health benefits are amazing. And then, of course, it helps us develop six-pack abs. Okay, there's no evidence of that one. I'm very sorry. You can't substitute community involvement, volunteering, charitable elements for hitting the gym. We still need to hit the gym. But we do know that if you involve your team members in this, if you do this, you have a longer life. So literally your chances of dying in any given year go down by 24%. So I want to check in with you guys. Oh, and by the way, all the background, the sources for all of this research is actually in my new book that Aziz mentioned. And so this is all backed up by evidence. So I want to see what you guys think. Does this sound right? So go to the chat and put in, have you seen these positive impacts? And you can answer yes or no. Maybe you haven't, and that's absolutely fine. And then just put in a quick explanation of what you have seen or that you haven't seen it. That would be great. So have you seen these positive impacts in your work? Yes or no? And then just put in a quick description. Okay, we got a yes. And if you type like me, this will take a little while, so that's fine. Just go ahead and continue with that. And I am going to move on. Actually, they're coming in already quickly. Okay, more energy. Yes, absolutely. So I believe that this is one of the things that powers Charles Antis, right? How in the world does he have this much energy? Sense of gratification after volunteering. Very smart. We all know that gratitude has health benefits, and this ties right into it. That's great. Corey, employees that get pulled into cool volunteer activities love it. Yes, it is addictive. And so if you can get employees to show up 1 or 2 times, chances are they will come back and they will continue to experience those benefits. Okay, I'm going to feel free to keep putting stuff in chat, but I'm going to move on. Because what this does is it elevates what motivates people. So it goes from pays and perk, which is a motivator. There's no reason that we are motivated by pay, but it's a terrible motivator. It fizzles out quickly. In one study in Israel, it fizzles out within a week. So if someone is working for you because they're getting higher pay, that boost in motivation because of the higher pay, it might go away within days. And it even beats the motivation of like, I love my team, I love what I'm doing, and I am growing. So those are the mid-level motivators, and it goes all the way up to social purpose, which is the highest motivator. This is what Maslow called self-transcendence. Okay, so basically, this is a little bit like doping. It's a little unfair. Those of you on this call have caught on that if you involve your team members in community activities, they're going to be like the employee on the left. And it's a little bit unfair with your competition, frankly. That's how powerful this is as a motivator. One individual who I think put it really beautifully is Caroline Barlerin. So she worked at HP, she worked at Twitter, she worked at Eventbrite, she designed amazing programs at all of these. And the way she says is like expanding people's work towards social purpose, so towards doing good, it doesn't add work to our lives. It adds life to our work. And this is part of that magic, that it seems like magic that Charles was talking about. So this moment in history is especially smart to focus on what brands do for the community, because 2020 broke our hearts in so many ways, and those of our team members. We are seeing now the great resignation, right? Workers aren't coming back to work. People are resigning. Why? Well, there are three main reasons. One is meaning and purpose. That's what we're talking about now. The other one is lifestyle, and we see this in the news a lot. So the lifestyle is, you know what, I cannot stand to go back to commuting, or I really need to stay home to supervise my children more closely. And then this third bucket is compensation and career. And that is, you know what, I tried 3 times to get that promotion. You haven't given it to me. See ya. Okay. So what is driving the great resignation? We hear a lot about lifestyle and compensation out there. Well, research just came out 2 weeks ago from Edelman. And the top reason people are quitting is meaning and purpose. So now more than ever, your team members are expecting meaning and purpose. This is actually a big shift, because even though all the research I shared has been true since we have been humans, which is, you know, hundreds of thousands of years, all of those benefits happen subconsciously. In other words, your employees might have been much more motivated when the day after they volunteered, for example, but they didn't consciously know that was why. They might have gone like, oh, that coffee must have been extra strong this morning. But what's happening now is that people are becoming aware of this need for purpose bubbling up. So in a sense, the world isn't just like this anymore, where people are consciously focusing on the raises and on the opportunities and on the pay, and very few are focusing on the societal purpose, on doing good out there. It's actually looking more like this, where most people are now becoming aware that they need to end their work week feeling like they made a meaningful difference in something out there. So let's go back to chat. I want to get your sense of this. Are you seeing this? I mean, does it sound right to you that meaningful work is now an imperative? So answer yes or no, and then just give a quick explanation if you would. That would be really nice to learn from each other here. So we got a yes from Stacia. That's great. Anybody else? Go ahead and do that. I will. We can all multitask, so I'll keep going. Yeah, Melinda is a yes as well. By the way, it's completely okay to have a no. You don't have to agree with everything I'm saying here. So, and also feel free to type in a question. It might be like, well, I'm not saying this. Do you have any idea why? So younger employees, yes. So Marty, absolutely. So this is actually true for everybody out there. Well, actually, there's an exception. Between 1% and 3% of the population, it's not true that meaning and purpose are a driver. And those are extreme sociopaths. But unless your team members are extreme sociopaths, This is true no matter what age group they are. However, what is great about millennials and younger is that they don't see these protocols of like proper behavior that the older generations, those of us in the older generations do. So they just come right out and say, I'm like sick of doing something meaningless. So even though it's true across all age groups and all generations, they're louder about it, about this missing, about this purpose vacuum existing. Okay, these are great. War on talent. Yes, this is a great way to bring in talent. So one study found that if you put out there that your company is doing the type of things that the Civic 50 Orange County are doing, if you put that out there to the community, you will get about 30% more respondents to the ad. And if you wanted to make up for that in terms of more pay, you would have to pay about 25% more. So these are real benefits out there. Okay, love what you guys are sharing there. Okay, so this brings us to 2022, right? Like you already have an advantage here in the business that you are running, in the team members that you are managing, in doing the good out there. And how can you build on this? Like, how can you take it even further? So just want to share a few resources with you. First of all, here's a free resource. I wrote a Harvard Business Review article this year. It's kind of a bestseller in terms of getting bosses online to buy into this. So if you are like, okay, B, I believe you, but you know what? My supervisor doesn't, or our board doesn't. This is a great place to send them. It's free. It's a 5-minute read. It has links to the studies that back up these claims. So this is one resource for you. The second resource, of course, is my book. But don't buy it, because if you sign up for the CVC OC, which is probably the best resource out there to help you continue to move forward on this path, you will get the book for free and it will be signed. So you should have the link in the chat to go there, and I see that you do. Great. And so I really encourage you to continue this journey. You're on the right track here. I think we will look back in 5 to 10 years to, pre-pandemic, especially 2019, and go like, how is it possible that companies even existed that didn't do, what Antis does and what Edwards Life Science does and the Civic 50 Honorees do? Like, how was that even possible? You guys are on the right track. And the final reason I want to say that you are geniuses is that obviously this is not about, in the end, right? It's not about business performance. It's about building bright, beautiful, Cloud 9 futures for our communities, for everybody in Orange County. And that's what this will do. It will, as Amanda talked about, it will help people get fed. It will bring smiles to children who are hospitalized. It will give people hope. It will eliminate, the problems of homelessness. So the final reason I believe that you're geniuses is because this is the contribution that you are up to. And I commend you for that. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much, B. amazing, really inspiring and motivating, and really tremendous perspective that I think we can all benefit from as we think about making a bigger impact in everything we do, and some really great things. And again, if we needed another reason to join CVOC, getting that book is definitely a great incentive. So for those of you, follow that link in the chat, because that's just a tremendous opportunity to get some really great information, great insights to really take our efforts further here. With that, we've got one final interview with Hemant Mistry, Assistant Vice President of Capital Group. Capital Group is paving the way for forward thinking when it comes to company-wide civic engagement. Let's take a closer look at how they do it.
So civic engagement, what it really means for us and Capital Group is really about caring about others. You know, the idea that associates can go out and support the community, they feel good, they do good, and they have fun. From a company that really supports them through financial assistance to that nonprofit, we measure our associates in terms of hours spent, matching gifts, how they're able to support the nonprofit through some leadership roles like board engagement or committee engagement. We really feel that at the end of the day, the associate works at Capital to deliver our mission, which is to invest in people's lives through successful investing, but that is also part of our community. And those in our community are part of our business as well. So how do we support both? And that engaged feeling of an associate doing more in the community only supports our Capital organization as well. The way we work as an organization is from a ground up perspective. So we think about our associates and what their passion are. We look at any nonprofits that an associate is engaged with, and then how does that accelerate the mission of that nonprofit? You know, really focusing on social justice, COVID, any of the environment or community support that's needed where our associates are involved. And so it could be existing nonprofits that they work with, but it could be new ones that we've now started focusing on due to COVID pandemic and other recent events. So advice I would give another organization is really start with listening to your associates. Lead by example. As a leader in your organization, you want to live the values of civic engagement. There's nothing more powerful than listening to the associates and how they're engaging in the community. And then telling them that the importance of their commitment to the community, their leadership and their passion, they become citizens that we employ and we support as an organization. So by giving them that support, showing that by yourself as a leader, that they will follow and help improve the organization's civic engagement.
So fantastic to hear from Capital Group and their perspective on this. And while today is really about celebrating civic engagement of our companies here in Orange County, we'll hope that you also walk away feeling inspired and motivated. I know I do. It's really always inspiring to see all the great work being done in our community and to see so many great organizations and companies really putting this higher and higher in terms of the prioritization of what they do and just the energy and perspective that you're seeing from each of these folks. So I hope you all take away something from it. I hope that you found B's presentation to be very informative and inspiring as I did. And I hope that's going to motivate you all to contribute, increase your programs, continue to put the best foot forward when it comes to making an impact in our communities. And now with that, let's take a look at the 2021 Civic 50 honorees that have done just that. So we're going to roll through the honorees, and we've seen some just great stuff in the chat. So feel free to chime in on the chat, give yourselves a shout out and have some fun with it. But let's roll the honorees.
Antis Roofing and Waterproofing. Aprium Advisors. Arbonne. ATI Restoration, LLC. Bank of America. Branded Group Incorporated. CW Driver Companies. Capital Group. Casco Contractors LLC. Clearinghouse CDFI. Davis Farr LLP. Doing Good Works. Edwards Life Sciences. Enteray Life Sciences Consulting. Exemplis. Farmers and Merchants Bank. First Foundation. Haskell and White. Idea Hall. Ingram Micro Incorporated. Kaiser Permanente. Mackenzie Corp. O. Mulvaney and Myers LLP. Optima Tax Relief LLC. Pacific Dental Services. Pacific Life. Pacific Premier Bancorp Incorporated. PIMCO. Rutan and Tucker LLP. SDCCU. Snell and Wilmer. SunWest Bank. The Bascom Group. UPS. Umberg Zipser LLP. U.S. Bank. Wells Fargo and Company. Windows Audit Tax and Advisory.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again to all the honorees. Such a tremendous recognition and just a great reflection of all the great work that's being done here in the community. It sounded like the audio might have gapped, so I'll give a special shout out to our friends at Experian for all the great work they do. And as we look at this, these companies are going to get a really cool award. So let's take a look at the beautiful award you'll all be getting as a Civic 50 OC honoree. It's pretty neat because you can add to it each year. So this is something we know these companies are committed to for the long term, and we know they can add to it every single year that they're honored and by ONEOC and Points of Light as one of the most civically minded companies in Orange County. So ONEOC will be in touch with you on how to get your award delivered, but it's very cool and just a great reminder of the wonderful work each of your companies is doing to help improve our communities. So with that, we're coming to a close of the 2021 Civic 50 Orange County reception. I'd like to take a quick moment and thank some of the key players that made this happen. But firstly, I would like to thank all of our signature event sponsors. They've really gone out of their way to be a part of something really special and to contribute and really make this happen. We'd also want to give a real special thank you to Kevin Barrett for donating the editing of our videos for today's program. Just a wonderful job really being able to convey that real spirit and energy of each of the presenters that shared their stories and what it means to contribute back to the community for their organizations. We'd also want to extend a real heartfelt thank you to all the companies who completed the Civic 50 survey. The work all of you have done in communities, not just in Orange County, but around the world is something to be celebrated and acknowledged. We're really fortunate to have so many great companies and so many great leaders here leading that charge for us and inspiring us to do better every day. So moving into the rest of 21, we'd like to extend a special invitation to the rest of ONEOC's upcoming events and activities through the end of the year. The Charity Challenge is currently happening, and our closing ceremony is coming up on October 21st. Lots of the companies that were represented here tonight, no surprise, have teams competing in this challenge. They're competitive, they're top performing organizations, and they're passionate about giving back. So if you're interested in attending this closing ceremony and seeing all the great work these folks are doing and the great fun and excitement they're having along the way. Click the link in the chat to register and join us in celebrating the winning teams and all the great projects that everyone's been working on. And finally, we want to thank everyone. We want to invite everyone here to be a part of the Corporate Volunteer Council of Orange County, ONEOC's corporate social responsibility network that meets throughout the year to share best practices, network, and educational opportunities for companies to build, maintain, and grow their civic engagement programs. I think you also get a copy of B's book, so that's another great incentive. The CVCOC is a great way to prepare year-round for your company's participation in the annual Civic 50 survey. And our next virtual meeting is on October 14th at 11:30 a.m. If you're interested in learning more, click the link in the chat, connect with Jesse Midstoke, and join in. I know Tarsus recently joined, and we've gotten a lot out of it already. It's helped us jumpstart our social responsibility programs. And I would encourage all of you that if you have not been a part of it to really take part, because it's just a great resource to really get either things going or started for your organization, or to maybe add a jolt of energy, a little bit of Charles Antis level energy into your organization to really kick it up a different notch. And certainly if you weren't recognized today, we look forward to getting you on that Civic 50 list. And we look forward to seeing everybody continue to make such a big impact in our community. I want to thank the team at ONEOC. They work really hard to make this event very special. To Tim and his leadership, and everyone for all their great work in the community. Thank you on behalf of ONEOC, and thank you personally for all the great work you all do to inspire me personally. It's very exciting and very humbling to be a part of this. And hopefully everyone had fun on Zoom, and hopefully we can do this in person sometime very soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.